Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Two L's, one pod. We are the spin-off podcast from the web series The Two Dicks. Then we were the Talking Dicks. Then now we're Two L's, one pod. I'm Al Romas. I'm on the icon of the seas. We are at sea. You can look out my window there. See the sea? There we go. And that's Al Ducharme. He's in Studio City, California. He's in front of the armoire. He's home. He's going to be paid for his week last week that he just traveled. We were just talking about that on the previous podcast, Al, about that dumb expression, we're paid to travel and the shows are free. But you experienced that last week, your little journey for a paycheck without performing.
I did.
How'd that go about?
Well, it's the first time in my 15 years of performing on cruise ships that this has happened. I was actually paid without going on the cruise ship because of inclement weather. I flew from Los Angeles to Seattle to Juneau.
All right.
Where I was overnighting to meet the ship in another
the Baranoff.
I was staying at the Baranoff Hotel, which is a 1920s kind of Art Deco, old school
dump.
It's had better days, but it has some charm. It has some
Who hasn't?
character.
We've all had better days.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Right.
We are the Baranoff.
I don't mind it. It's right downtown. You can walk everywhere, restaurants, bars, and whatnot. And some of you don't know this, but many of you do, or the opposite. Juneau is the capital of Alaska, and it is landlocked. You can only get there by air or sea. There's no roads. I guess you could hike, and if you survive.
Where we're going, there are no roads.
That's right. Marty, get your dildo. We're going back to the future, and you got to fuck your wife.
Your mother.
Your mother. Yeah, I'm sorry. I screwed it up.
Do it again. Take two.
Marty.
Take two. This might be a
I
good
got to
clip.
edit now.
Hold on. And where we're going, there are no roads.
Marty, get your dildo. We're going back to the future, and you're going to fuck your mother.
We'll see if we need a clip like that.
Gee, I don't know, Doc. All right.
I'm not sure who that was, but continue on with your story, please. You're
hey,
at the
this is I'm an adult man trying to do the voices, which I'm a little bit out of practice since my F is for Family days. Now streaming on Netflix. I just got a batch of checks that came in my quarterlies.
Oh, what are we talking? Are these checks or are these like residual bullshit? 89 cents. Oh, we're talking. We got a few bucks here. Got a few dollars.
These are the quarterly ones, so they're a little bigger.
A little bigger.
But I do get I'll get the trickle
factory.
Ones. Yeah.
You go to the Cheesecake Factory, you buy a meal. It's nice.
I love the Cheesecake Factory. It's
dude. I had never been. Now I've been twice. Fucking love it. Love it.
It's an endless menu, but it's consistent. It's a chain, and it's consistent, and it's not Olive Garden. It's good food, man, and good drinks. They make
great drinks. I like the bar. We sit at the bar, we order, and it's a bad name for the place because I never went. I thought it was like a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah,
desserts.
It's a stigma almost.
It should have a different name. The food is fresh. It's good, and they make great drinks, and I love it. Yeah, we went last time when I got home, and I'm gonna do it again. I drop off my car, and then we head to the Cheesecake Fac.
I'm a big fan of it. Big fan. I don't go enough, as a matter of fact. I don't go enough.
Well, you take those residual checks, and you take Bernie out, and you have a nice meal and a cocktail on F is for Family.
Bill Burr.
On Bill Burr, yeah. Did you see Unfrosted, by the way?
No, but I will.
Burr in Unfrosted.
He plays Kennedy.
That's what I hear. I have not seen the film.
I've only seen the trailer, and I haven't seen it. He's sporting a wig, and of course he has the accent. He's got that down because that's where he's from.
Mhm.
So of course I want to see it just because
Of
he's
course.
in it.
But you're in no rush. It's been out for 3 weeks.
Well, I can watch it downstairs, but I should see it before I leave town again. And I know Jerry Seinfeld has a reputation for being a prick, but he's good. He's funny,
Sure.
and
I didn't see it, and Kelly liked it. She said it was very funny, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm sure it is. It's a million
And
cameos too.
Jay
So if you don't
Leno
like,
was very kind. He said, "Yeah, somebody finally made a comedy." Just of
Yeah.
late because everybody's been swinging and
I
missing.
noticed Jay's not in the film with 500 other comedians that Jerry knows, and yeah, great. Thanks, Jerry. Anyway, you're at the Baranoff. You're there. You overnight. You're at the Baranoff. I'm going to keep this story. God damn it, on track.
You are right.
You're at the Baranoff. Do you have a breakfast? Do you go for the big? Everyone talks about it. The Baranoff breakfast.
Well, they closed a little diner that was attached that was there for 60 years. That's gone. So now they have a regular dining room and it's a buffet. And to be honest with you, this time of year in May, it's mostly crew that are staying there. And most of them, I would say 80% are from the Philippines. So they were getting up early after their 16, 17-hour flights and they raided the buffet. And by the time I got there, there was slim pickings and everything was kind of like lukewarm. So I was a little bit disappointed. But anywho, so I overnighted there and I was scheduled to take a 14-seater, one of those small commuter planes.
Yuck.
To Skagway, which was a 45-minute flight.
45 minutes of sheer terror.
Yeah. Well, I woke up and it was complete fog. And there it is.
Was that you or the fog?
That was me.
All right.
So my flight was
After
delayed.
a Baranoff breakfast.
Yes. Flight was delayed and then delayed and delayed and delayed. And then the ship, I get an email from our travel person and they say, Al, call me right away. The ship could not get into Skagway because of the high wind, 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Nice.
And they said they're in Hanes, which is
underwear.
Hanes underwear, which is
I wear the Hanes. I wear
it's like a
double
40
pouch.
minute, it's like 35, 40 minutes away sailing at 18 knots.
It's a big cock joke.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I was trying to tell my story. I'm going to let you tell your long-winded story. Just give your buddy a chance.
I'm just saying.
You're making cock jokes, underwear jokes.
Little humor on a comedy podcast doesn't hurt.
You're right. You're right. I give you shit about that. And you're right. You're right.
All right. Continue, please.
I fucking hate it when you're right.
Hey, now.
So they said, can you get to Haines? And I see flights to Haines, delayed. So I talked to them. I said, hold on. I had her on the phone. I walked up to the desk at the airport, Juneau Airport. I said, what's the deal about Haines? And she said, everything's on hold right now. Hold. That means everything's backing up.
Right.
Except for the big jets, the 737s that fly in. They said those are still coming and going, slight delays and whatnot. She says it doesn't look good. So I said she doesn't feel confident.
I would have said on the contrary, it looks fucking great. I don't want to go to Haines.
My bank account had a smile ear to ear.
Are you kidding? This is a fucking home run, baby. Nobody wants to go to Haines.
So
send me home.
I relay the information to our travel person, and within 5 minutes, we're sending you home. Beautiful. I go now. During that 5 minutes, I already walked over to Alaskan Airlines podium, and I said, "What are your next flights back to Los Angeles?"
Yes.
So they're like,
"Bro,
well, we can get you to Seattle, and there's 2 flights after that. There's only 2 seats left, but there's a lot of people that are delayed and can't get here, so a lot of seats will open up." So she goes, I'll write everything down. This woman was so efficient. She wrote all the different flights and times, blah, 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 blah. I email them. I get a phone call. We booked you. We booked you on this flight. And I got
8 hours from
upgrades.
now. Oh, good.
No, I left within an hour and 45 minutes.
Nice.
I did a layover for about 90 minutes. And all of a sudden, I'm home. My wife is picking me up at the airport. We drive
straight to the Cheesecake Factory.
Straight to the Cheesecake Factory. Marty, we got to get back to the Cheesecake Factory and fuck your mother. I don't know who that was. That's not
I don't know
even
either.
Doc.
I think you forgot it was supposed to be Christopher Lloyd. And you
I
went,
know. Marty, we got to get back to the future.
Marty, you've got to come back with me. Where? Back to the future.
that was like some 1950s mob guy or something. I don't know what the fuck that was.
It was.
But,
I'm a little off. I went out last night.
oh,
by the way.
Well, anyway, stay on track here.
I will stay on track. So I arrived home and full pay for the cruise ship. So it was like 32 hours, 31 hours of travel.
Right.
Paid to travel, and I get a full pay rather than being away for 5 or 6 days.
I'm hard right now.
I know.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite thing in comedy. I just love the idea of going somewhere, turning around, coming back, and getting paid for that. It's just the best.
last time that happened, I was working a college university. What was it, Denver? It was in the spring, and they scheduled an outdoor comedy event. I was the main event, and it snowed. So instead of moving it indoors, they said, we can't move it indoors because the facility we have indoors has something else going on, some lecture. So they said, we're so sorry. Here's your check, and you can go. And I was like, oh, but I really want to perform.
Yeah.
And then I went back to my hotel, packed my stuff up, went to the airport, got an earlier flight, and I was home a day before.
I used to love when the kid at the college would kind of apologize and then be like, we're so sorry. We just got to give you your check. But, you know, we thought there would be people here and
we didn't promote it.
But and go, it's very disappointing. Give me the fucking check. And then very disappointing. And then I run top speed to my car and get
that
the
check
fuck out of there.
Bank.
Yeah.
Now, what happened on that? They rebooked me.
Who did?
That college that I told you about. They rebooked me.
Yeah.
The following semester. And so I got like 2 paychecks.
Nice. That's the way to do it. My phone's ringing.
Really?
Who the fuck is this? Should I answer?
This is the IRS. This is the IRS. Do you have a podcast, website, a web series? Are you reporting all your income?
The IRS will never call you. That's what somebody got scammed recently, and I just read the whole thing. And but they're like, I forget what the scam was now. What was that? A few days ago, I read a thing, but the IRS, the woman or man was on the phone like every day for hours with this quote unquote IRS agent. And then at the end of the whole, all the money, $200K or more was gone. They just kept sending it to him, They
only send you a letter.
Right.
And you have to reach out to them. And you usually go to the website. I verify numbers. I've spoke to the IRS. I've been audited a few times.
Ew, don't even say that fucking word. God
it's
damn.
It's stressful, but at the end of the day.
Get out of here with you.
The only time it was more stressful.
Get out of here.
Bernie's been audited twice, and I've been audited twice, but I was involved in her audit, obviously. So that's 4 times.
Yeah.
The only thing that was really annoying was they said, we need to see receipts for all these miles and meals that you're taking.
Ooh.
So I had, at the time I was living back east, I had the Easy Pass.
Yeah.
With my tolls. And it gave you could print out maps and it would show you the tolls and the days, the times. So it was like, well, here it is. This is a blueprint, black and white. And they go, and here's my meals. So I traveled more than whatever it was, 7,500 miles from my dwelling. You're able to write off a certain amount of money. And then they go, okay, we're satisfied with that. Now we want to see this. I'm like, what the fuck? So
no, just pay my shit and try to do it right. Don't want any questions.
I always
feel like
I pay a little more.
You pay a little more. Give Uncle Sam a little extra.
Well, I'd rather get a little bit of a refund or a credit towards the next year's taxes. That's how I do it. Just peace of mind.
Peace of mind. I hear you. Hey, but speaking of Kelly, my girlfriend Kelly, she's been out of work for Thursday and Friday of last week, and doesn't know if she's working tomorrow or not, Monday when this airs, because her company that she works for got hacked.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
They sent out this massive email to everyone who worked at Ascension, it's called. and it was something about like free concert tickets, like kind of like, hey, you work hard, let's give you some free concert tickets. Click the link. And she deleted it because she was like, I don't know what this is. It's bullshit. But enough people opened it up. And this is hospital. So she does hospital records for these hospitals in Michigan. They got, who knows what they have, besides the fact they can't even work now because everything's been shut down. I don't know if it's being held hostage or not.
Ransom?
I don't know if there's a ransom, but I saw something online talking about a ransom. So, but she's like, there is no word from her bosses or anything. And of course, being corporate, you know what they're doing? They're charging the workers. They're charging people like her days off that they have for, like, she has 4 weeks a year off.
They're taking it
They're
out.
They're taking it out.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not. Now it
well,
is.
Tell Kelly I got her
It'll
back because I'm getting paid for not working.
This is my point, sir. You sat on an airplane and got paid, and
that is
and she can't work and is being charged vacation days.
No, they're insured
to sit home
for
and
this.
be near the computer.
The companies are insured for this. You got to pay your workers.
Well, I think they'll get this corrected, but as of right now, that's what they're telling them. Where you're using vacation days, and it's like that. I go, that's not going to happen. They'll mutiny. They'll fucking. You can't do that. You can't.
Yeah, you want to be shut down. You want to be shut down for another 10 days, mofos? No, that's wrong. This is where somebody wields the power to make that decision at the meeting, and it backfires in their face. You can't do that. You can't. They're
doing it, but it's going to be corrected. I'm not freaking out about it, saying I've just told her calm down, and she's calm anyway. But that won't happen. You're not going to be charged vacation days because that company got hacked. But
they're insured for being hacked. Companies, corporations they have insurance up the wazoo. They have lawyers on retainers.
I'm insured for being a hack. And I've cashed out that policy nightly. You know what I'm saying, sir? Hacking it up out there is my point.
Did L. Romas just go self-deprecating? Because that never happens.
Self-dep, a little self-dep right
self-dep. That never happens. It's usually me. And then here's what I do. I'll shit on myself and he'll double down and shit on me like 2 more times. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. That's my fun. I don't have a lot of fun, sir. That's one of my the highlights of my week right there.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing also. Kelly has got paid vacation days.
Yes.
And you're out of town. So that sucks.
Yeah.
What is she doing?
No, I know. Well, we were home. I was home, but
2 weeks,
it
right?
happened. I was home for 2 weeks, which is fantastic.
It flew by, man. I felt like you just got off a ship.
I'm back. Look at it. I'm sitting in the same spot. It's crazy. It went really, really fast. But it was Thursday and Friday. But they were like, stick around the computer. You got to stick around your house. We don't know what's happening. But then by Friday afternoon, they were like, yeah, we're kind of fucked here. And going into tomorrow's the first day back. Doesn't look good. I Googled it a little while ago, and they were like, they have no time frame to coming back. So, but I haven't seen anything about ransom or whatever.
So some of these companies will pay the ransom because they lose more money than the ransom's worth. So if they say, we want $40 million, otherwise you're going to lose $200 million, they'll pay the ransom to get up and running. And then they send in
pay terrorists.
They send in the software people, and they go, well, now we make it so that we're not vulnerable anymore. Meanwhile, it's probably an inside job.
It's probably, or who knows? Who knows what's happening? It could be China. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Estonia.
Did you see Trump, by the way, speaking yesterday in Jersey? And we got to put the clip on this if anyone hasn't seen it. It's just the funniest thing. He's talking about Hannibal Lecter and how great Hannibal Lecter just. Great
this
guy.
is why
just a great guy.
Great guy.
This is why I watch Trump because I think walking away. Oh,
Trump is like he's like a roast. He's a walking roast at his rallies. I find him very funny.
He's funny. Guys. I don't care what politically.
I take all
nonsense.
That. I enjoy.
But he's funny.
The funny. Yeah.
He is a funny guy.
But I don't think he knows how funny it is. That's the scary part.
Well, yeah, he's very entertaining, especially after a lifetime of politicians who just, horrible just and dull and
teleprompter.
Just, right.
We will reduce the deficit. We will increase employment and build new homes.
Remember Jeb Bush when he was running and he was doing
Oh,
that speech and he bombed and he just goes,
oh,
"Please clap."
did he?
He said yes, he cried. He goes, "Please clap." They just sat there in silence at the end of one of the supposed to be. And it
And
just
Trump
it's
went mowed
so
him
sad,
down.
and
And
that was
Trump,
low energy Jeb because he's like, "Please
yes,
clap." Yeah,
yeah.
low energy Jeb, and but anyway, yeah, it was funny, and he loves Hannibal Lecter, so there you go. That's the best. Um, hey, I saw old buddy of mine, John Consoli, came to town last week, and we went to this restaurant. Correct. I got to give a shout out to Coretta on the Gulf. This restaurant. I had a smoked old fashioned there. Top 3 all time,
Really?
maybe top 2. Oh, it was fantastic.
Ooh, all right.
Fantastic.
Right up there
Holy
with
shit.
Charlie's. Charlie's makes a damn good one.
Right up there. Right up there. I don't know what I guess it's the bourbon. I'm not a bourbon guy. Don't really know the big diff, but I guess it's the bourbon and
The
gotta be
preparation.
yeah, I don't know, but fantastic. Loved it. And Clearwater is not known. Clearwater Beach is beautiful, and and obviously the whole lifestyle down there, beachy, not known for great meals, but Coretta on the Gulf. Holy shit, they did a nice job.
Well, we'll have to
And I
put
went
the
with a pork
hashtag
chop. Went with a pork chop,
stuffed
bone in.
bone in.
Looked like a tomahawk bone kind of thing, and huge, fucking awesome. Loved it. Great
So
job.
bone in pork chop. That sounds like, having sex with a
Mm.
chubby girl.
Right. And we've
I
all been there, and
I
nothing
certainly
wrong with it.
have, and I enjoyed it
Nothing
very
but-
much.
Goddamn right. All good
I
times.
was happy that someone was interested in me.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
We have a question. You know what it was? I was
I
gonna
know.
do a pork chop boy, the gay boy, chubby boy, and I thought, I don't know, we're getting too much with the gay boy, so I
Well,
left
Kevin
it alone.
Hart
Then,
did put.
then we went to silence. I'm like, I
know.
don't know, we got a question.
Kevin Hart did point that out at the Tom Brady celebrity roast on Netflix. He kept saying, "What is it with you white guys always like doing homosexual blowing each other jokes?"
Yeah, he's right. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kevin Hart, but he's right.
It was so common at that roast.
That is our wheelhouse.
Yep.
No doubt about it. Did you?
Well, the black community is so
roast.
homophobic, too. The straight guys are so homophobic.
Yeah, I didn't
so.
see the roast. I saw a couple of. I saw the one I saw Nikki Glazer and I saw Jeff Frost, and that was about it. But a lot of people loving it. People excited. Oh, you can say those words again. Well, you could always say them.
You could always say them.
People this whole cancel. You could always say them. You can't say homo anymore or fag. Okay, you lost a word. That's about it. But
Shane Gillis is a
I
millionaire
saw.
after his SNL getting fired from SNL. So because he can say whatever he wants. He's got the Patreon.
But all those guys, Norman and Gillis, and they're old. They're just saying they're doing comedy from the '90s, and no one and people love it. So it's all these other freaks who don't go to shows and really don't know what they're talking about. Who are the ones going? You can't say anything anymore. It's completely changed. It's very hard to be a comedian.
No, that's the audience. You get one person.
Everyone's handcuffed.
You get 200 people.
When do you ever hear that?
200 people, and then you get one person in the middle going, "Aw."
But when do you never hear that? You never hear that. You have nothing that would make an audience go, "Oh, I barely."
I do, and mine's innocuous. So,
what gets a groan that you say? What gets a groan or a oh?
Whatever it is. What I'm saying is, you would think, my act. I wouldn't normally draw that kind of a result. They are just fucking trained to think I'm going to be offended by anything. Anything.
I don't find it though. I mean, I'm doing 13 a week in these clubs, and I don't find it to be right now.
It's not common. I'm just saying it has happened. And it was a couple of years ago when it was like, when the cancel culture, Me Too, all was combined into, you can't say, and other comedians going, we can't say anything. Yes, you can. You
Right.
always
I find it
could,
to be the
but
same now as it was years ago,
I
except
think I
for
gave a
saying,
punch. I gave it a nice punch or a nice shot in the arm to live performances of stand-up comedy because there were people like, this is bullshit. I'm going to
yeah,
see comedy for comedy. And it was,
they want it. They
yeah.
do want you to be real. But I mean, I feel like if you really check, we lost the word fact. I feel like that's all I've lost. Like I said it once in my act back, and I wouldn't say it now. And that's about it. Other than
Well,
that,
you can't make
nothing's
fun of,
changed.
you can't mention anything without people thinking you're making fun of it. You can't mention a trans in your act because people, they came down on Dave Chappelle for that. You can't
Well, you can, but
say,
it just
well, you
depends one
can't, well,
person, maybe. One person out of 13 might have a problem. 13
right.
shows.
No, I
A little problem.
agree. What I'm saying, no, you could say it depends on the, you could say, oh, my sister is a lesbian. Or my cousin is a lesbian, but because you said the word lesbian, you're going to get people go, whoa, buddy, don't you, no, you can't do, I love my sister. I'm telling you a positive story about my sister who happens to be gay.
Yeah. I feel like
But
that was
because,
years ago.
yes,
I don't think today.
right.
You know what I mean? Because I came out in like the group of women. I go, well,
You
look at
came
all
out,
hey,
right.
lesbos. I come out and go, hey, lesbos, what's up? And nobody goes, oh, wait a second.
They
They might
did.
have 2 years ago, but not now.
No.
Not currently today.
It's kind of the wave has crested
Yeah.
completed its arc.
Yeah, and I think people are sick of those people too who do moan and go, oh, like get the fuck out. We don't want you here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like here on the ships, late night comedy. These people now, it was always adult, but they wanted adult. They want adult. If you're just like adult, I'll say fuck every other word, a few words, and still gonna just talk about my dog or something. They're like, no, we don't want that. We want fucking hard.
I've been
adult.
told more than once, oh, we thought you were going to be dirtier.
Right.
And I always come back with, I go, well, I'm a little bit dirtier than my regular show, but I don't go all the way because it's still, in my eyes, a cruise ship audience,
Just go fuck off, cunt. That's what you say to
my
that
opening.
person when
That's my opening. I go, that's as dirty as I get. And then everything else is bubblegum.
Yeah. But I love when people have to have a comment like that, even like, we thought you'd be dirtier. Like, that does either say good show or, you know what I mean? Like, that it's meaningless. We thought you'd be dirtier. Well, okay.
We enjoyed it, but we really thought you were going to be dirtier. It's like,
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, okay.
Well, you enjoyed it.
I'll
then
try
that's
to be
it.
dirtier next time. You're an adult who has to, I mean, like, I like cursing on stage. It's fun, but I don't understand the people who need to hear it. Like, we thought it was going to be dirty. Like, we want to hear like, you're an adult. You need to hear 4-letter words. I mean, I'll do them because it's natural for me. I like doing it. But it's a weird thing that to a club wants to hear. Yeah. Why do I have to hear it,
But then there are people in these positions who are getting word that, oh, that person was offensive. So what is it? Do you want it all in or not?
Right. Well, it's a degree. Yeah. Yes. To a degree. It's like anything. To a degree, until we hear a complaint, then we'll be talking to you about it. But otherwise, be dirty, be adult. Go for it until we hear otherwise. I know. Tough. It's tough. What is that word? Tough walk to. What is that? A tough line to walk or?
Tough line to walk?
Nothing. I don't know. I don't think that was it. But
I'm really bad at the expression.
You failed me.
Wrong.
You failed me. You failed me there, buddy.
I failed you. I failed you.
Hey, we have a
we have a question.
We have a question.
It's time for
Questions.
Yeah.
This one's not bad. On the Instagram, hit us up there with the question. We'll answer it on the next pod. I like this. We're just saying question for Al. Okay. I don't think this guy or girl knows our show, but question for Al. Have you ever been assaulted on stage? Have you ever been assaulted? I guess that could be anything. Something thrown at you, someone coming on the stage.
Yes.
Threatened.
Yeah, that's what I hesitated on answering. I've had napkins thrown at me, ice.
Feminine napkins?
I had feminine. It stuck on my forehead, and you know what? I left it there, and I got 20 minutes out of it.
Probably about stick. Probably about 3.
I've had a couple things thrown at me.
It's 20
And oddly
minutes.
enough, it was because I was being heckled, and then I shut them down. And it both times I had something thrown at me, maybe 3 times, it was a woman. Heckling.
A woman was thrown at you?
A woman was thrown at me. And
Jeez, 3 times?
yeah, 3 times.
A wild
3
club
times a lady.
back in the day. Hey now.
Now they're heckling me, and just went like that, from like front row or second row, and it's like boom, and the crowd goes ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
We were talking about this last night.
Sidewinder.
I was talking to
roundhouse.
No. I was talking to another comic about this last night and saying, would you leave the stage if someone throws something at you? Because some comics just go, that's it, I'm out. And others like play with it. But what would it take? Like, I've never had that experience. Thank God, knock on wood. I haven't had anything thrown at me. But like, I saw once a guy whipped a quarter at a comic, and it grazed his face, and it was like he could have taken his eye, literally. And it was like, then the comic put the mic in the stand and was like, good night, and walked off.
I've
and
seen
people like, fuck that, boo. But if they're throwing things or someone throws something, I think there is a limit. There's a line, again, to walk in the line, whatever that expression is. Walk the line, Johnny Cash. But I walked the line. New album coming out, by the way. Songwriter. One of those old Johnny Cash recordings they found, and it's coming out. It's going to be great. Anyway,
songs or recordings.
It's called Songwriter. But have you had that? Have you had someone, other than tossing 3 women at you, have you ever a glass or a bottle of beer?
I think it was Ice and Napkins. That's the name of my new album.
Ice and Napkins. It's not bad.
But I've witnessed some things. I've witnessed Greg Fitzsimmons, who I'm going to be working with Thursday night at the Hyperion Theater on the west side of L.A. I'll be there.
Hyperion Theater?
Yeah, along with 2 other very funny comedians who I can't think of right now.
But they're hilarious.
They're hysterical.
They are.
Greg Fitzsimmons. I was coming to the club for the second show, and he said, "What? Oh, did you hear what happened to Greg?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" He got into a physical altercation with an audience member. It was basically the guy was talking. It was one of these things where the guy's talking to the girl who's laughing at the comedian, and he's jealous.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before. It happens every.
It's very common.
50 shows or so. You get some guy. He's jealous. He's drunk. And his girlfriend is like, "Oh my God, he's so funny." And he's like, "Yeah, he's not that funny." He's not even looking at you.
Right.
It was one of those situations. So Greg, whatever did, I guess the guy heckled him, and Greg came in. And Greg's pretty fearless when it comes to that stuff.
I think I've heard this story from some. I mean, just quick, that Greg did well in the fight. That's what if I know the story.
Well, it's happened more than once.
Well.
It's happened more than once. And Greg is a small figure of a man, but he's very wiry and tough.
A small figure of a man. That'd be a good title for Greg's next CD. A small figure of a man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that Irish.
Put. That was like Keith Morrison on Dateline. He was a small figure of a man.
He's got pipes too. He's like wiry.
He's like a scrappy Irish boxer in the 20s. One of those guys wear a beret and kick your ass.
Yep.
And you'd be like, what the fuck? That little guy kicked my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quick. So apparently what happened was the guy got Greg in a headlock of some sort, and then grabbed him, tried to pull him down like a wrestling thing, and wrenched his back, as he said. Greg said, he wrenched my back. And for about a week, Greg had back problems, and But I heard that he was in another physical altercation and ended up getting the better of the heckler. That's
the story I remember. Yeah, and they were saying Greg kicked his ass, which
I want to hear the story from. I'm going to speak to him Thursday night and get get the scoop.
Get the story, bring it back to us. I have never dealt with any of that nonsense. Actually, I've been lucky, and I've gotten into it with hecklers back and forth sometimes on like Long Island and Staten Island, and those kind of places, but nothing I can ever recall of being assaulted. So no, I don't have that. Thank God. I wouldn't want to deal with it. But it happens. We had our podcast used to end with Kenny Moore getting
Yes.
assaulted on stage.
Well,
And Kenny taking his guitar and
I think
stopping
Kenny
it
did
actually
the
before the the guy was
preemptive.
coming up. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
got up.
he
He
was
stood
going
up.
to.
Yeah, he stood up and came to the stage, or is approaching. But all we see is the guitar go out of camera, whack, and then come back completely destroyed.
It's so great. Yeah.
And he tries to win the crowd back. You saw him, folks, right?
Oh, yeah.
He started it. The crowd was like, "No,
No.
All right, that's our that's all the show. The show's over.
All right.
Show's over.
All right, show's over. He puts his pick back in the strings. All right, show's over. You just killed a man, Kenny. We can't sit here now and enjoy your parodies while a man's bleeding out of his ear. We need a little something, a little buffer in between. Now we're back to show. Well, they take a guy out and drag him out and put him in a stretcher. All right.
And that's the late Kenny Moore, if I'm not mistaken. The rumor is he's passed.
The rumor is he passed. And you know who else we lost just the other day? In not a known guy, big time, but James Gregory, the funniest man in America. I don't know if you ever met or dealt with James along your travels. He was a Comedy Zone staple, the headliner in the Comedy Zone from whenever they opened.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy. He was about a 350-pound gay man, and he would just hold court on that stage. And he was the first guy I ever saw to sell merch. The first guy that had a mailing list. Like, he was a businessman who became a comedian at about 30, 35, 40, whatever. So he got it before the internet, the whole thing. He was like, he had cards on tables, fill out your name and address. I'll send you a thing when I'm back in town.
Grassroots.
But yeah, and he billed himself as the funniest man in America. He wasn't.
I kind of picture on the wall of the club's name, and I've never met him. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you ever did Comedy Zone in the South at all in the 90s, you were aware of him.
How old was he? If he started when he was 35,
God, I don't know, maybe 80.
He made it with being a large fella.
Yeah, well, he's been. I don't know if he was sick and lost weight, because I saw some recent pictures, and Rich Scheidner had a photo he took of him fairly recently. And he was thin, but he had that "I've been sick" thin look, or it could be using various drugs to lose weight or lap band. But he had that, like Billy Gardell. Like we mentioned, Billy Gardell does not look well. He's thin, but he doesn't look good. He looks like he's got 6 weeks to live.
Right.
But James had that look a year ago, so I don't know whether he lost the weight or was ill. But
same thing with your buddy John Goodman, who we were talking about a couple of weeks ago.
Terrible. Yeah. I mean, health-wise, it's great for your organs, not having 300 pounds laying on your organ.
But you wonder if your body is already like, it's like they say with the drinker, the guy that's been drinking for 50 years,
right?
Alcoholic. If he stops, is it going to shorten his life?
Yeah.
It's
a good question. Yeah. But I just don't, I mean, I'm sure it's healthier, and it's gotta be. But boy, it just doesn't, that kind of weight loss, if you're not doing it the right way, or if you're too big, I don't know how it works anyway. If you're over 350 and you lose weight, it just seems that skin's got to go somewhere.
Well, yeah, unless you're getting it removed, which some people do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you look like a Gaudi house building.
A what? A what house?
The Spanish architect who his buildings look like dripping candles.
Oh, yes. I didn't know the name of the architect. I knew the house though. Hey, let me ask you a question here quickly.
Go ahead.
You're a traveler, a world traveler, all around the world. Ever hear of Discover Airlines?
No, you texted me this yesterday, and I didn't. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm
so
worried.
Is it a startup?
I think it's a budget. I think it's like a WestJet for Delta, the way they have like a little budget thing.
There's a lot of those that pop up.
I don't mind. Like if I was flying to Fort Lauderdale, I don't mind being on Discover, but I'm flying into Europe, and I'm like, what am I? And I'm flying to Frankfurt and then a layover, and then Frankfurt to Barcelona, and I'm like, I don't know about this
Well,
Discover Air.
usually a lot of those startups, depending on how
Yeah.
much money they have to start up, they buy the old planes from the other airlines.
Thanks.
And
That makes me
then-
feel good.
And you could say the
Oof.
window shade is hard to move. It's yellow.
Shit.
And,
All right, I'm sorry I brought this up.
There's gum. There's gum in between the seats, and there's
still
and
cigarettes in the ashtray, is what you're saying?
Yeah, the flight attendants have scars. It's like it's.
Can I get you something? How about a blindfold? Yeah. That's from my old act. I just popped in my head from 1984. All right.
I'm opening
Beautiful.
up with that Thursday night at the
Nice.
Hyperion Theater in Los Angeles.
Are tickets still available?
This
sold
show
out?
will sell out, so you better get your tickets now because it will. It's like threats to people.
Low ticket alert.
Low ticket alert. This is going to sell out.
Nobody has to post if it's a low ticket alert.
No, there's no.
They're not
reason to-
concerned with tickets when it's a low ticket alert.
If you got 10 tickets left on a 500 seater, you don't
Yeah.
post.
You better get
about it.
online and put in a low ticket alert. Let people know it's low. The tickets. Make an alert.
You're going to get walk-ins. If you have 10 tickets, you're going to get walk-ins. It means that you have 150 seats available. That's what it means.
Yeah, it correct. It's like these shitty clubs when they're like, Saturday night is showcase night.
It's like,
oh, what a showcase night. Well, that's 10 open micers that we don't have to pay, so we can keep the door and make some money this weekend. It's like a showcase night.
Because we
We're
gave it
showcasing 10
because
of
we
our
gave it
worst
to
local
Jamie
acts.
Kennedy, who was here last week, and he didn't draw. Now I got to edit that out.
No, that's fine. But the door, nowadays it's just a door anyway. So if you don't draw, you don't get paid. There really
I
is
got
very
paid.
little guaranteed.
Nobody was coming on that cruise to see Al Ducharme, and I got paid, motherfucker.
Well, that's why when people say cruises to this, cruises to that, yeah, but you get paid. You go to a club and it's not open and they have something going on, you might get paid, but it's tough. It's gonna be work.
Here's my plane. This is my plane, and this is
gonna
my
be on
paycheck.
Patreon for this, folks. Get it on Patreon. 2 hours.
This is my plane coming, my return flight.
There's a
coming
paycheck.
into
Al's
LA,
doing a visual.
and here
He's doing
is my paycheck. Right here's my paycheck.
Wait, which one's your paycheck?
Right to my account. And here's my plane.
And which one's the plane? Oh, yeah. There you go. Beautiful. At least you weren't though on Discover Air.
Oh,
boy.
they're gonna discover a lot of stuff. Hey,
I'm
folks,
worried.
this is your captain. Well, I'll be a captain by the end of the month, but I can fly on a technicality. My trainer's here, and I get he gets the good headset. I got this old tattered headset.
I can't. It's through Lufthansa.
Hey, folks,
which is
oh,
through
Lufthansa.
United.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but not
it's German.
Lufthansa.
It's going to be very efficient, and it will be flying well.
I would have no problem if I was on Lufthansa.
I've
I'm not
flown
on
them many
Lufthansa.
times.
I'm on Discover Air. I don't know what that is. What plane is this? I've never
You
seen.
will
And then I looked it
discover-
up. Tampa. It has a gate. I'm like, Discover Air is flying out of Gate A in Tampa. I'm like,
Well,
am I going to be the
they-
only person on this fucking thing?
If they
this
come out
real?
and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Captain, prepare for an emergency takeoff."
Yes, your captain. Want to welcome Al Romas to the flight. I mean, I just picture me sitting there like, what's going on?
He's new. You are new. They have Hitler as the little.
Hitler in the they get that what's that video with the movie with Hitler and what's this? They put different caption
Jojo
on it.
Rabbit.
Is that what,
No,
maybe
What?
no? You know the video you ever see with the Hitler from that one movie, like European movie?
What's
they'll
magic?
change it.
And they put the dialogue in.
Yeah, they change it, whatever. They'll have like 2 hours. One podcast is fantastic, and he's like, no, it's shit. It's shit. That'd be good. Get to work on that when you have some free time.
Yeah.
Put
I
in
have free
Hitler
time.
hating our podcast, just like Podcast Magazine. Let me look at my notes here, sir. We covered. So you would like the Tom Brady roast? You were in favor of it. You enjoyed it. You had a good time.
For the most part.
Okay.
I know there was mixed reviews on it, and there was even comedians that either loved it or hated it. It was too long. It was
Yeah.
over 3 hours. And I saw the
That's-
edited version. I didn't see the live stream. And you said that they edited out Kim Kardashian getting booed.
That's what I read. Yeah, she got booed mercilessly, and that was all cut out to protect poor Kim. You know, I don't understand it. I don't even know why she was there. I get she brings some eyes, but who gives a shit? You got Tom Brady. You got all the biggest comedians. Do you really need Kardashian to be there?
Nikki Glaser was
Really?
my favorite line about Tom Brady losing $30 million in crypto. And she says, even Gronk's like, that's not real money. She did the robot thing, and it was fucking hysterical. The timing of it, and oh boy. And Gronk smashed a shot glass, and apparently it shattered and went into the front row and hit some woman in the cheek.
Oh, really? He spiked it.
He spiked it. Yeah. And that was for a gag for doing a shot.
Right.
And he just went and grabbed it. He was a mess. He was a mess.
Yeah, well, he's Gronk. That's Gronk. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean,
who was it that said, Gronk thinks his last name is Kowski?
Oh, yeah. I don't know who that was. That was good. That was good.
Who was that?
I wonder what Kardashian thought when Jeff Ross came out in the OJ bloody jersey. Because, rumors are OJ banged her mom. So you wonder, what was going on there. And rumors are her sister's OJ's daughter. So who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? They said that bit was real when Brady whispers to Jeff Ross, no more of that shit about Kraft. Did you see that part?
I heard about it, but was that real?
Well, what I heard was Jeff always looks for a moment kind of thing, like have a moment that will be talked about. And they had discussed not doing the Kraft shit.
But he did.
Don't go there. And he knew if I go there, I'll get something.
Right.
So he did it. And then Brady was like, no more of that shit. He was like, cool with it. Like, okay, no problem.
Tom
but he
was the executive producer,
Yeah. I saw. Yeah. So that was huge. They'll do another one. I think who was it? They mentioned somebody as a possible host. No, to be roasted. Someone good too, but I can't recall it, sir. I can't pull it right now.
Do you think Nikki Glaser should host one of those now that she's like her profile just jumped immensely?
Isn't it amazing though? She was big. I mean, she's a big comic. She does Vegas with Spade. She tours. She sells out theaters. But you do a roast on Netflix like this, and the next day online, people are acting like she's brand new, never saw her before. No, they're like, she made a name for herself last night. This girl, Nikki Glaser. It's like
she popped because she's
been around forever. I mean,
she had her Comedy Central, which Chris McGuire, my buddy, was executive producer on that, and I think it went 1 or 2 seasons. And after that, she's been around. She's been around,
but she's got a show. She's got that Fuckboy Island show. She's got stuff. She's been around.
She's always in something. Yeah,
she's doing theaters. She does big 2,000 seaters.
She sells tickets. She puts assets.
But it's amazing how if you do something on like a Netflix level, they're like, "Oh, she, overnight sensation."
It's profile, right? And then that's what they're talking about. Nikki Glaser had the best set of the night. She got a standing ovation.
Yeah. No, it was the best for what I saw. I only saw her, Ross, and somebody else.
I saw the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple of times, 3 hours and 20 minutes that I actually got up, went in the kitchen, grabbed something to eat, and I was listening to it in the background on my Bose Theater Sensurround sound bar.
Yeah, nice.
Well, I took that money. That I got paid for not doing a show on a ship, and I went out immediately and bought a Bose sound bar for my TV.
You got him, and you work. It's like you worked for it because people say that we get paid to travel. So
it was about 31 hours round trip. I stayed in a hotel overnight, but I got in late, and then I was scurrying to get food because everything was closing down. And I know what I did. I want to tell you this. So I'm at the Baron, and they said the restaurant just closed. Oh, I know what it is. I'm at the airport. And they send a van, and I get an email saying a van will pick you. No, they said the hotel has a courtesy shuttle.
Okay.
And I'm like, I stayed at the Baronoff. I take a taxi all the time. They don't have a courtesy shuttle. So
Mhm.
then I come out. There's a
That
guy
sounds better
saying,
than van. You know what I mean?
well,
A
yeah.
van will take you like,
There's
you
a
know.
guy, there's a 75-year-old guy with a clipboard,
Oh boy.
old salty guy. And it says cruise ship crew or guest entertainers. And he's holding up the sign. So he's picking up from multiple cruise lines, these people. So I go, hi, Al Ducharme here. Do you have me on your list? He goes, what is your name? And he's like turning the pages. And
I
there's
just told you, fuckhead, Al Ducharme.
Al
That what he
Ducharme,
said?
Alfred Ducharme, Duch. He goes, I don't see you here. So I go, I'm trying to look at it. He's like holding it back because, I can't tell you how many times they go, no, you're not on the list. And I go, yeah, I am. There's my name right there. And it's
27.
27 times.
27
Is that-
times.
Yeah.
Well, you had told us last episode. You said it was 27 times this is happening. So it
Well, we have new listeners.
was right there. No, it was on my brain. That's why I could
Okay.
tell you it was
Thank you.
27 times. You said you couldn't tell me.
Sure enough, I'm not on the list this particular time. I'm not on the list. Not on the list.
Damn
And he goes, well, I go, can you get me in the van? And he's like, well, I'm supposed to have 8, and that's my max, but I don't know if a couple of these people are going to make it. So he goes, stick around. I said, well, I'm waiting for my luggage. So I get my luggage and I walk up to him again. He goes, yeah, it looks like 2 people haven't checked in, so you can ride with us. I go, okay. And then, of course, 5 minutes later, oh, they're here.
Yeah.
And all their luggage, and they're flying in from the Philippines, and the van is completely packed, including the passenger seat. So
No room at
he
the
goes-
inn for Al.
and it's pouring out. So he goes,
Of course
"No."
it is.
So I
Why
have
wouldn't it be in Alaska? Beautiful
Aruba doesn't
beautiful
really,
part of the country.
Uber doesn't work. Uber doesn't work.
Why
really
would
in
it work
Alaska,
in the United States? Alaska.
Juneau. So I call the taxi, Glacier Taxi, and they say it's going to be
Glacier
about
Taxi.
15, 20 minutes. It's just like, it's 10 o'clock at night. I just want to.
And where you're heading to the airport at this
Baranoff.
point?
No, I'm heading.
Oh,
I'm
this is to the
yeah,
Baranoff.
yeah,
I
so-
got you. I
Also,
got you.
you're paid to travel, So
Yeah.
So finally, I walk up to a taxi. I go in the rain. It's 50 yards away from the stop. And
What's
I
the
go,
temp
hey,
out there? What are we talking? 50?
47, 46, raining.
Oh,
So I said, going to the
cold.
Baranoff. He goes,
Alaska rain.
okay, what is your name? I go, Alfred. He goes, okay, get in. So I get in. I'm the only one in the 8-9 passenger van, and I get my private ride.
Mm.
I go in there. Now, all the people that were in the crew van are in line. So there's 8 of them, and it's taking fucking forever.
That's when you got to do your move. Well, you can't do it at the Baranoff. That's when you go get a burger and a beer and you wait.
Just everything shut down. The restaurant just closed,
Baranoff
but
stinks.
we have a grab and go for you that the cruise
grab
line
and
is
go.
supplying. Yes. So they say you can
What do we got?
you can get $25 worth of grab and go, and there's just around from the desk there's 2 refrigerators. So I finally check in. I'm the last one to check in.
Martha
I
made a
go
couple of
around and it's
PB&Js
grab and
brought 'em
go.
in.
So I'm doing math now. I'm like, okay, I can get 2 beverages and a sandwich and a
Grab and go.
And it's a 5% tax and a 15% gratuity. But they're going to
For grab
waive.
and
We're
go?
going to waive the 15% gratuity because that's for the restaurant. I'm like, great. So I'm looking for a sandwich, and it's the 8th of May, and the sandwiches all say this was made on the 6th of May. It's a sandwich made 2 days prior.
1976.
So I'm looking for one that's made today.
What are you, nuts? That's Alaska. Nothing's made day of. This is hard living.
So I
man.
just grab when I go to my room. I put my bags in. I'm like, oh fuck, this one was made today, 2 days ago. It's a sandwich. It's a turkey sandwich. So I go back down. I go, hey, this was made 2 days ago, and
We got 11, a complainer.
It's 11 o'clock at night, so it's almost 3 days old.
Yeah.
So and the guy goes, oh, those aren't supposed to be out. They're supposed to give you ones that are made fresh today. So we go up to the cooler. We look together, and I'm like, maybe they just wrote the wrong date. He goes, I'm going to get you one in the back. So he goes in the back and he goes, this one says the 8th. I go, that's today. I'll eat that. It's a turkey sandwich made today. I'll eat it.
Uh-huh.
He goes, yeah, I'm going to take those all out. They shouldn't be in there. That would mess up your stomach. That's what he says. I go, fine. I go up. This sandwich is, the bottom of the bread is soggy.
Oh,
it's soggy.
no.
Because all the moisture from the lettuce and the tomato is now, gravity has taken over. And I I take 2 bites of it, and it tastes like it's 4 days old.
No,
And
you know, your mouth, your taste buds go, nope.
Nope, into the garbage. I go down the street. I get a Alaskan amber ale, and I fucking go glub 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 glub. I put it down. Good night. I pay the bartender. Go back to I have a full belly of beer now, and that was it until breakfast.
Yeah, that's Alaska. So when again, I am always kidding, somewhat, but overrated, not great at all. And then people, oh, it's fucking awesome. Look at your experience there. That's the United States, and it's worse than a third world Caribbean island. You know what I mean? The hotel, the restaurant's closed, old sandwiches, ridiculous, not good.
Now, I've been going up there for about 15, 16 years, and I've never seen
Still defends it.
the Northern Lights. And what happens? They're having a 100-year solar storm event where the Northern Lights, the greens, the blues, the purples, is spectacular. People are posting pictures from everywhere. I'm in Juneau, and it's completely covered with fog. I can't,
because it stinks.
I can't go and see the Northern Lights, and I'm home. No.
Did you see them at home?
No, people were saying if you drive away from the city, you'll be able to see them. And I'm like, I went to a bar last night to hang out with some friends because it was somebody's birthday, and I was going to have one drink and come home.
Yeah,
and I ended up
How's
having
that work out?
And I had a couple of drinks.
I mean, that expression is I'm going out for a beer. That's like an expression. I'm going out for a beer. What was the last time anyone went out and had a beer?
3 nights ago.
I'm having one
in Alaska. I had one.
You had one Alaskan ale and
to fill my stomach and called it a night.
They didn't have food at the bar?
It was just shutting down.
Yeah.
They turned off the lights. And
3 days old. Yeah. I mean, there's a tough people up there. They eat 3-day-old sandwiches. Nothing bothers them. You know what I mean? They're a different breed. They're not some LA.
They hit a moose
boy
with their truck, and then they drag it home and eat it for the winter.
Well, it's like in Virginia. There was a guy who used to do a joke when I started there, but he would talk about those guys where he lived out in the country in Virginia, and they would find roadkill, a deer on the road, and it's old, been there for a day or two, whatever, just laying there in the sun. And he goes, these rednecks would be like, you can eat the meat. You can eat the meat. Like I wasn't thinking about eating it.
Technically, when you bag a deer, as the hunters say, when you shoot a deer, you hang it for a few days before you chop it up.
Right.
You gut it, you hang it. So
somehow it seems different than laying on the highway in the sun.
Well, yeah, the visual, the spectacle.
Well, you can eat the meat.
Technically, you can.
Yeah, technically. Okay, that's going to be the name of my. I have a special on Open Bar. My second one comes out. Open Bar now will be all on YouTube. The paywall has been lifted. There's no more paywall. That was whatever the plans went different way. They're going to be all released on YouTube, and he's got I think a ton of them coming out each week between now and the end of the year. But I did one. I have one already that'll be put on YouTube, but I have my second one. It was mainly crowd work. So I think it was fun. I hope it came out good. I don't really know. I haven't seen it.
Send the raw footage to your buddy Al, and I'll tweak it.
He didn't send it to me. This is the problem. I haven't seen it yet. I need to see this thing, but it makes me a little nervous. I'm like, well, am I going to see it? What the fuck? You know what I mean? But it was mainly crowd work. I think it was good. I can't remember. It was December. Dennis Regan was middling. So it was kind of like, it was a little pressure in my mind going like, I got to follow Dennis Regan and I'm going to do crowd work only. That was my goal. Mm-hmm. And then Regan's doing well out there. And I'm thinking, well, I got to do some bits, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like a loose, just, hey, it's my night. I'll do crowd work and we'll edit it together and make something of this. This was more like, you got to do crowd work, but it's got to be good. And that doesn't always work with crowd work because you want it to be more natural.
Right.
If it happens, where I was coming out of the gate, kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah.
When you do 20 shows and a majority of them are crowd work, you're loosey-goosey. But when you got to do crowd work and be funny on this one show we're taping, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that comes out July 10th, but it was interesting how when that started, they had a paywall. It was $50 a month or some nonsense, and then they finally got to the point. It was like, just put it on YouTube and try to
We'll
get
go for the
views for
views.
everybody. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what we're all about, the views.
Well, I
and,
mean, that's set up
you know.
monetizing on YouTube. If you get enough comedians with comedy and you get a couple of million hits, you will eventually get some small checks. And then if it goes tens of millions, that's when the big money rolls in.
Yes. And we need to, we have all our videos, but they're private because we have them on Patreon. But our older ones, we're going to release
them.
those on.
And the new ones, we decided
YouTube.
we're supposed to release our videos that we only have for our Patreon members. We're supposed to release them 2 weeks after.
Right.
To the public.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't know. We might lose some Patreon members because they're getting it.
To the great unwashed. No, I think the Patreon, I think they like to see it early day of. And but you got to open it up to people, and then that way you can get more. And who knows? We're just kind of figuring it out.
We're having an identity crisis. We just discussed this off air.
Yeah.
Where we have the Two Dicks web series. We had the Talking Dicks comedy podcast, and now we had to change that to Two Owls, One Pod. So we're floating out there on different platforms.
Yeah, we were Talking Dicks. Then we were Talking Dicks comedy podcast, and we went to Two Owls, One Pod. But our logo is still based on the web series we're detectives, which doesn't make sense for Two Owls, One Pod. So there is I think there's some disconnect.
We're probably going to get our buddy Jimmy Carroll to do a new logo of just me and you, kind of like this with the microphones or something.
Right. Yeah, that'd be good. I could reach out to Jimbo, and hopefully he'll have some time.
Will you buy the guy dinner? Take it out if you can get it.
We can't even get
into our PayPal account. We have money just sitting in a big pile. We could be giving that to Kelly for her paid vacation.
Kelly's fine.
I think Kelly's all right.
Kelly's doing okay.
All right, Slick, let's wrap this mother.
Teddy needs it. Teddy could use it. I'll tell you. Teddy. Oh, you can't see my cuts. Are they hot? I don't know if you can see that. It's healed. And then there's one here. I came in the house last week. This was after I'd been home.
You got to cut his nails, dude.
I came in the house. He jumped up, and as I'm playing with him, I'm looking down, and both my arms are just blood on both arms. So Kelly, get on those nails. Get on those nails, please.
He's a killer.
He is. He's
like
scary,
Ted Bundy. His name's Ted.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I don't let him out of the house at night, so for that reason.
Well, you don't. I don't want that.
I don't.
He could be leading and living a double life.
That dog, dude. I don't have room on my fucking pillow because I'm away 2 weeks, so he's got my spot with the pillow. I come home and I move him over.
He's like, I'm the man. I'm the alpha.
He lets a big sigh out as I push him away. He's like, like, no, dude, that's not you got
to dominate him. I had to do that with Buddy. Buddy was a little chihuahua, but if I was away for a couple of weeks and I came home, he's like, I'm the alpha. And I'd move me like,
no. Buddy weighed 1 pound and he was
Buddy was 13 pounds and he was 2 pounds, 3 pounds overweight.
He was 13 pounds. Really? Okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to be 10 or 11.
Teddy was supposed to be, I think, 10 pounds.
Oh,
he's about 35.
Yeah. Yeah. You were supposed to get a small to medium cock.
Kelly wanted a dog to put in her purse and go shopping with. Yeah. And
you guys, he was raised next to a nuclear power plant. Yeah.
We were sold a bill of goods. Literally. They just lied. Yeah. Went, no, he'll never get more than 10 pounds. Thank you. Hey, we have just throw it out there. We have a guest next podcast. After this, you're hearing this on Monday, a week from today. We have a special guest. So tune in for that. Oh, it's happening, buddy. It's happening.
All right. Well, I'm going to be now that I'm not in Alaska. I'm going to be here in front of the armoire, so I'm going to have full power. You're on Skylink, Elon Musk's internet.
Beautiful.
Hey, do you know? Question. You can do a subscription to Skylink for $250 a month and have access to it rather than paying $150 a week, whatever you pay for your internet. So if you're doing $300 a month through the cruise line, why not get your own personal subscription? Would you be able to go through their satellite?
I don't know if you can though. I don't know if it could.
Is
If
there a
you could, if
block
I
on
had
it?
this, I don't know anything about. I've never heard about that before. You just dropped it, so I could look into it. $250, and the internet here with my discounts comes out to about $295. So no, less than that. No, I'm paying. I
Why aren't you
pay
paying
180.
140?
I'm paying like 180.
So that's
week.
$360 a month, and if you get your own personal one for $250,
Yeah. If I could transfer it onto if I could have it and put it on the phone
we
on
probably
the
shouldn't
app.
be talking about it publicly because
All right. Well, I think it's all right. Nobody listens this deep into
an
the
hour
pod.
into it. No, well, the average
Kelly,
is like
Kelly's about
12.
and Kelly's basically shut down at this point, going, all right, fucking, let's go.
Yeah.
But we'll look into that, and we have a guest a week from today. We'll promote that, but you'll be happy. People will enjoy it.
I gave it away. That's a female. Is it her fourth time or third time?
I'm going to say third, but we've had the Facebook podcast, and she might have been on that.
May have been her fourth.
Could be.
I thought she was a three-peat on the last one.
Could be.
She's a favorite.
Hold on. What's happening here? What's
You're
going
frozen.
on?
You're frozen.
What happened?
You're frozen. I can hear you.
I had you
got a message. A message came.
I had a phone call from an unlisted number, and I always get confused with accept
IRS.
and delete, decline, take and delete.
It depends on what platform, what Wi-Fi. It's all.
But when you see like it panics, like I'm like hold and delete, accept. It's like in a movie. Do you get this when a movie? See, here it is again. Boom.
Yep.
When a movie starts and they're like kind of like Star Wars type thing in a galaxy far, far away. Do you get panicky right? Like I'm not gonna be able to read all this in time. I'm gonna miss this, and then my brain won't read it all. And I
in a movie theater, yeah,
where you just
home, I can pause it.
Exactly, but in a theater and just going like I'm gonna. Miss
I don't
this.
go to the theater enough anymore, and I really miss it. So I'm probably going to take in a film at the Regal Cinema right here. They have a bar, restaurant. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to have my
We're going when I get back. We're going to the movies. I got to see the new Planet of the Apes. I'm not watching it on TV. That's a big screen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. I gotta be in the theater, man. Fucking popcorn and some. What's that shitty candy with the white? No, it's chocolate.
Caps,
like white
snow caps.
Ugh.
Oh, those are awful.
They stink. They stink. People used to put them in popcorn. Dump a box of snow caps in a thing of popcorn.
I hated them. I never liked the taste of those. I don't like the Easter. What are the eggs? The sweet egg. What is it?
Cadbury.
Cadbury. Oh, it's like pound cake, or not pound cake, fruit cake. Just all these things. It's just like,
you don't like a fruit cake?
I haven't had a good one. They're all bad.
Okay. I have a partner who's. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I need more coffee. I was trying to think of call you a fruit cake, and it didn't come out the way I wanted.
I know. I was waiting for it. I was
I let
like,
it just.
bring it.
I let it.
I
just
put it out there.
I couldn't. I
lobbed it right over the middle of the plate, and
fucking do it.
Rarity for Romas to
drop,
swing and a miss.
I'm out of coffee, man. I didn't have enough today, and
well, let's wrap this fucker up and go get more coffee.
And then I ordered some coffee this morning, and they come and I go 2 pieces of wheat toast.
They come in your coffee.
Hey now, that might be a clip. And I go 2 pieces of wheat toast and coffee, and then they bring the coffee. I go 2 coffee pots, please. 2 coffee pots.
2 coffee
so they bring
pots because they give you the mini one because you're
a little one
solo. If there's 2 people in your cabin, you get the big one. And they go, how many people in your cabin? You should lie and put 2.
I know, but on here, and I don't know about other news ships, I guess, your picture comes up when you call and it shows you're alone. So they give you the little, and then I get the 2 pieces of toast with some grape jelly, and there's no knife. So I have no way to apply my jelly to my toast.
Is this an Alaskan cruise?
This was might as well. I think I was on Discover Airlines. I think that's where this happened. Boom, wrapped up. Let's go. Done. See ya next week on the podcast. Adios.
So long, Mel. Have a good trip.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The Two Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the Two Owls, One Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/The Two Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.